I'm John Jose and welcome to sgglobal news. From the attack that transformed the Christmas market in Weimar, Germany into a scene of terror to the US-Ukraine talks in Florida, Pakistan drafting peace agreement, we have many stories to cover. A 29-year-old Moroccan man turned Weimar Christmas market into a scene of terror by stabbing several visitors on Saturday evening. Police quickly subdued the knife-wielding attacker with pepper spray and physical force, preventing any fatalities. Security has been stepped up these Christmas markets across Germany following the shocking incident.
A serene Saturday evening at Weimar's beloved Christmas market turned into chaos when a 29-year-old Moroccan man unleashed a brutal knife assault near the National Theatre and a crowded ice rink. Families sipping Glühwein and children admiring twinkling stalls scattered in panic as the attacker slashed indiscriminately through the festive crowd. Thuringia police responded swiftly. When the suspect charged at officers with the blade still in hand, they deployed pepper spray and physically overpowered him without resorting to firearms. Several victims sustained stab wounds and were rushed to hospital. Exact numbers remain unconfirmed. The attacker and 3 bystanders suffered minor injuries from the irritant spray. Miraculously, no lives were lost. The incident immediately evoked memories of the 2016 Berlin Christmas market truck attack that killed 12. Authorities have launched an intensive investigation into the suspect's motive and background. Weimar, the historic city of Goethe and Schiller, now joins the grim list of European locations scarred by sudden violence during the season of peace. Security has been sharply increased at Christmas markets across Germany.
On the second day of his apostolic visit to Lebanon, Pope Leo XIV visited the tomb of Saint Charbel, recalling how the saint taught prayer to those who live without God, silence to those who are surrounded by noise, and poverty to those who chase after riches. He then entrusted the needs of the Church, Lebanon, and entire world to Saint Charbel's intercession.
On the second day of Pope's apostolic visit to Lebanon, the Holy Father visited the tomb of Saint Charbel, saying that the saint taught prayer to those who live without God, silence to those who live amid noise, and poverty to those who pursue riches. Pope Leo XIV greeted enthusiastic crowds in Lebanon as he made his way to the tomb of Saint Charbel at the monastery of Saint Maron. At the main entrance of the monastery, which contains the saint's tomb, the Pope was welcomed by the monastery superior, the Superior General of Lebanese Maronite Order, as well as the President of Lebanon and the First Lady. He then spent a moment of silent prayer before the tomb of Saint Charbel, followed by a welcome address delivered by Superior General Abed Mahfouz Hedi. Pope Leo XIV brought a message of hope and peace to the country, which has been mired under crisis since 2019. Pope Leo entrusted the intentions of the Church, Lebanon, and the entire world to the intercession of Saint Charbel. The ceremony concluded with a prayer to Saint Charbel and Pope's blessing in the presence of Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun and his wife. He then delivered his address in French. The pontiff reflected on Saint Charbel, who lived hidden and silent, yet whose fame spread throughout the world. Pope Leo then presented the monastery with a handcrafted silver-bronze votive lamp. He explained that by offering the lamp, he was entrusting Lebanon and its people to the protection of Saint Charbel, praying that they might always walk in light Christ. He expressed gratitude for the gift of Saint Charbel and thanked those who preserves his memory, urging everyone to walk in the light of the Lord.
Pope Leo XIV embarked on his apostolic journey to Lebanon with a stark message for the nation's leaders in Beirut. He urged them to confront division, rebuild trust, and guide the country with hope. He emphasized Lebanon's resilience and addressed issues such as immigration, the role of women, and the healing of deep national wounds.
Pope Leo XIV began his apostolic journey to Lebanon on Saturday with an address to civil authorities, representatives of civil society, and the diplomatic corps at the presidential palace in Beirut, according to Vatican News. The speech focused on the theme, "Blessed are the peacemakers, and underscored the nation's urgent need for unity and renewal. The Pope emphasized that peace in Lebanon is not an abstract ideal, but a necessity shaped by the country's diverse social fabric and long-standing challenges. He reminded the leaders that peace is built daily through responsibility and shared purpose. He highlighted the perseverance of the Lebanese people as a defining strength. The pontiff noted that their ability to start again, as reported by Vatican News, remains foundational for national recovery and future stability. He urged authorities to stay close to their citizens, particularly young people, and to communicate what he described as the language of hope. The message also stressed that reconciliation requires time, honesty, and a willingness to confront painful memories. The Holy Father encouraged institutions to prioritize the common good rather than competing interests. Turning to immigration, the Pope acknowledged the pressures forcing young nationals to leave while affirming that the Church does not wish anyone to feel compelled to abandon their homeland. He concluded by recognizing the essential contributions of women and youth, describing their participation as vital to Lebanon becoming a land full of life once again.
Pope Leo XIV marked a significant moment in apostolic journey to Turkey by attending the Divine Liturgy at the Patriarchal Church of St. George in Istanbul on November 30. Joined by Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew Fez, the Pope reinforced ongoing efforts toward Christian unity. Both leaders championed reconciliation, advanced a shared mission, and urged Catholics and Orthodox to collaborate for harmony, justice, and care for creation.
Pope Leo XIV and Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew I strengthened efforts toward Christian unity as the Pope attended the Divine Liturgy at the Patriarchal Church of St. George in Istanbul on 30th November, according to Vatican News. The visit was part of the apostolic journey to Turkey, which also marked the feast of the Apostle Andrew. The congregation included more than 400 members of the Holy Synod and the Episcopate. Sources reported that the pontiff described the liturgy as the culmination of a shared pilgrimage, recalling the First Ecumenical Council at Nicaea. He noted that the creed professed by both churches continue to form real communion. Patriarch Bartholomew expressed joy for the fraternal gathering and said the historic ties between the successors of Peter and Andrew obliged both churches to work for unity. He reportedly stressed that the encounter was not ceremonial, but a concrete sign of commitment to full ecclesial communion. Both leaders highlighted the need to address global conflicts, ecological crises, and social inequality. The Pope stated that achieving peace required deliberate action and reliance on God's grace, as noted by Vatican News. The event concluded with an ecumenical blessing from the Patriarchate balcony, reinforcing a shared mission of peace, justice, and witness to the world.
Rio de Janeiro has unveiled a spectacular 90-meter floating Christmas tree in Botafogo, dazzling onlookers with thousands of shimmering lights. Families gather amid samba music to celebrate the festive inauguration and mark the start of the holiday season. The glowing structure is set to illuminate the cow nightly through January, drawing visitors from across the city.
In a dazzling display of holiday magic, Rio de Janeiro unveiled a massive floating Christmas tree in Botafogo Cove on Sunday, captivating crowds with its shimmering lights. The 90-meter tall structure, adorned with thousands of twinkling bulbs, promised to be a festive beacon over the waters, blending Brazil's vibrant spirit with Yuletide cheer. Local families gathered for the inauguration, marking the start of the season amid samba rhythms and joyful cheers. This innovative tradition elevates Rio's iconic celebrations, drawing visitors to the scenic cove for nightly illuminations through January.
U.S. and Ukrainian officials held 4 hours of talks in Florida aimed at drafting a potential peace agreement to end Russia's invasion. Both sides reported projective progress as they address security guarantees, sovereignty, and revisions to earlier 28-point proposals. A U.S. envoy will travel to Moscow a week to present the updated framework.
U.S. and Ukrainian officials held a 4-hour meeting on Sunday in Hallandale Beach, Florida, focused on drafting a peace agreement to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Both sides described the talks as very productive and useful. Discussions centered on ending hostilities, Ukraine's long-term sovereignty, security guarantees, and measures to prevent future Russian aggression. A previous 28-point U.S. proposal has been revised after Ukrainian objections. President Trump said the talks were going along well and expressed confidence in reaching an agreement. President Zelensky welcomed a constructive dynamic and confirmed Ukraine's key priorities were addressed. The meeting is the first high-level direct negotiations between the new U.S. administration and Kyiv since Trump's inauguration. A U.S. envoy is scheduled to travel to Moscow next week with the updated proposals.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.